Okay, and welcome back. We're looking at where we left off last time in Phil Glory's Empire. In theory, we now have a pending peace treaty with Macedonia, which will basically see them officiating the succession of all the territories we currently occupy to us officially. That will definitely improve how stable the occupied territories are, because it will allow us to remove occupied war control from all of them. And these are some pretty valuable territories that we're taking. So getting the 20% culture penalty knocked off will make a real big difference. We're laying siege there. Laying siege there. You're moving to go lay siege there. We lost that general. Well, attach a determined general there. Lydia is now objective. Okay, that's fine. We've negotiated for that to be handed over. Let's try to do a little bit of diplomacy. We know we've got pretty good relations with Achaia here. Can we get them to become our client state? With the magical power of Roman money. Give them a pile of metal. Give them a pile of manpower. Give them a pile of money. Yes. So we'll send that proposal off. We want these guys to become a client state as well, which we'll deal with these guys also with the power, Roman power of money. Can we get away with a little bit less than that, maybe? 60% chance I think it's worth the roll. Worst case scenario, they say no, and then we still have the money and can offer it next time. Okay, and then we'll have you move not there. There would make sense. Works Roman camp. Actually, why don't you do 2 turns so you can get the Roman camp original limes before you move on. Public Works. When we move... Actually, no. You can build regional roads if you stay there 1 turn, so it's going to be Public Works and then regional roads. Public Works there. Public Works there. Okay. Let's gotta start going through all the provinces and build what we can. Got a new build slot here. 31 culture is not bad for a scriptorum. Don't need the jewelry shop, just have a jewelry shop. Not that desperate for money right now. Yeah, I think that is going to be the scriptorum we grab there. Okay, doesn't need to be the fastest build in the world, but 3 turns is decent for what we're thinking about right now. That's a pretty good amphitheater. Tribunal's fine. Nothing to build there. Working there. Nothing to build there. At some point, we'll come back through, probably when we're at the state of peace, and do a little more micro on the construction. By moving people off of culture and stuff like that, but I think for the moment we're good. We can import tools there, so that's a good way to get more infrastructure. Two and one. That's a decent trading tent. If we can get a couple more commerce buildings, we can probably take that all the way up to paved. 1, 1, and a 2. So as if we do brickworks, we can have the guy come back to pay or to make it regional. Wall improvement. Oh, mint or preceptor house. If we had papyrus, it's definitely the preceptor house. I think we'll go mint instead then. Interestingly, we're going to be importing gold from across the border. Yeah, from across the border. Apparently there's gold there. Some gold out in their desert. We'll grab the wheel here. Our trade sentiment goes away with 12, so that's going to go away at some point. I'm actually somewhat surprised that didn't despawn, because we're obviously not Carthage. Courthouse. So is it still Carthaginian culture? That might make sense. So the other thing we could do here is the watchtower. No, we'll do courthouse. When the war ends, this will gain 30 loyalty, but we still want loyalty, a little bit more loyalty than that. We got enough culture buildings that we do get access to the tier 3 ones, so we'll actually do the reroll here. Just to get a better chance of getting what we want. Sooner, at least. A little bit better chance to get what we want sooner. Two and a 1. Would make sense to maybe fortify up here. The warehouse is usually not a bad idea. It's available. Post-war, this is another example of a place where we're going to probably do some reorganization. And we'll grab the corner, or grab the tribunal. Then we're on to the Luces. Go watchtower. This is the place that got the population from the Federation. Probably doesn't make sense to pick up the crafting house here, because that would give us the 6 commerce buildings. So we could upgrade this to regional, and then from regional to paved pretty easily. Oh, I always forget that one because it's scroll down to see. Here. Grab the crafting district. This is a pretty exposed place, so the wall wouldn't be a bad choice there. And that's it. That's the regions. Let's go ahead and I think cycle the turn. And see how things advance. Let's also do a quick checkup on the objectives. So our remaining objectives right now, except for the one in Dacia, which is it's too far out, we're not going to go out that far, are in Macedonia. In fact, I think we're laying siege to one of them, laying siege to two of them. We've got a guy going for the third one. The third one doesn't have walls, so it's going to fall as well. Okay. So if we do successfully negotiate our peace treaty, we'll get all our current objectives besides the one in Dacia. And then we'll probably get told there's more objectives in Macedonia. Or someplace else. Maybe we'll get told that the next place is Egypt to go after. That would be thematic. 23 versus 6. A mostly cavalry force. Does not appreciate facing the legions. Provincial garrison, again, does not appreciate those legions. Whenever this comes up, it's usually displace. At some point, we might swap to buying just to get more population quickly. Spend metal to acquire money or manpower. So this is money. Usually what we're doing. Next turn is when we should hear our response. Rome gains no less than 7 war score over Macedonia this turn due to the large shift in momentum in the former's favor. Basically, the game's telling us that we are in fact winning the war. Not surprising. I'm pretty sure we haven't pulled copper there yet. No. Copper or silver. Okay, so for the moment, I don't actually see the point in advancing or necessarily ordering any storms, because I think most of the places are just going to surrender or be surrendered to us. They don't surrender. So the guys that we're in real interest in ordering are the guys doing construction. Regional roads, and you're ready for us to show up and make that a regional road. And we can't go there this turn because we got a blizzard in the mountains. So we're going to move there while building limes before we leave. Yep, so that's I think all the troops we want to do. We didn't end up actually getting to the forests where we would have sent the forest troops. Scriptorum's going reasonably well. Amphitheater's going reasonably well. Could go a little bit faster if we were desperate, but we're not. That needs to be better. We're only getting the wild beast benefit. So the buildings like Trade House only show up if you have one of the bonus goods. But for them to be really good, you really need more than one. In this case, we've got one. really need like 2 or 3 for this one to be worth it. This is a place where we're getting raided, so it might make sense to build walls. Yeah, let's build the walls up. And there's nothing that removes glaciers. Well, nothing that removes glaciers in this version of the game, at least. You know, global warming's a few thousand years in the future. We'll go with the fishery instead. Go watchtower for the extra defensiveness. I mean, it's always good when it comes up. Because it's 0 slot provides a good culture to decadence ratio. Well, we got a couple upgrades that we could use as our reroll. So we can either do Fortress or we can do Builder's Guild. We can import the tools, and I think that's going to be a little bit more valuable than building a fortress that's not on the front lines, even higher for the moment. It's a decent market. Oh, we do probably want that conversion, so we'll go Temple. Ooh, that's a good spinning mill. So each of the 3 spinning mills only show up if you have one of the inputs. I think actually maybe might not need one of the inputs. There's 3 different versions of them. There's the cotton one that needs cotton and gets bonuses from wool and flax. There's the wool one that needs wool and gets bonuses from flax and cotton. And there's the flax one that does basically the same thing, right? Obviously, this is a way to move around cotton, flax, and wool. Pick the right one. So this is an example of what you'd really want to use it to do, right? We've got wool and flax here. We have cotton in trade range. So we can use this to knead the cotton into the area and get the bonus basically from all 3. So this is a really good spinning mill. You don't always get that. That can, because cotton's pretty rare. Cotton's the rarer of the 3. Limited to certain trade regions, certain growth regions in the game. There's a whole cotton region. I'm not going to be too focusing on there. That's fine for the moment. Come redo that after the peace treaty is signed. The world wonder, the Acropolis. The Athenian Acropolis. So this would be more thematic if it was in Athens, because this is the Athens world wonder. Many Hellenic cities had one, literally the place above the city. This is a Greek-specific fortress, even though people are not Greek can build it. Those provide extensive extra storage space, protect the citizens during long sieges, thanks to its monumental walls. It has a real big garrison. We can make glass or either make glass or import, or make glass and tools or import glass and tools here to get more benefits on it. This is a world wonder. It's not likely to necessarily come back up. This is also the upgrade from the Acropolis, so we'd have to have an Acropolis somewhere to build it. in practice, I don't think I get to build Acropolises. So that's where the it's a Greek specific wonder comes from. Is the Greeks can build this building. We don't think we can. We don't lose them if we capture them. Well, small amounts, obviously in Athens, as it's saying there. So we'll go ahead and build this because the only other place we could probably build this is Athens, and there'd be a little bit of gambling on seeing if we get it there. It'd be more thematic there, but we'll take it here. Decent farm. We do need a farm in the region, presumably to feed stuff. And then we bounce around to the wild, the loose ones. Yeah, we'll do the cavalry one. Don't have enough bonuses to apparently get this to even... Oh, it doesn't matter where we put these guys. Stuff here is going so poorly for the locals that we, regardless of what we put it on, nothing's working. Nothing in that territory is going to work this turn. Okay, let's just went around all the provinces, did all the stuff. Let's cycle the turn, and I assume, based on what we saw in the peace treaty that we sent out, that the Macedonians will accept our deal. And I can already see the border shift, so the Macedonians did accept the deal. Either that or every fort we have under siege fell. One of the two. So we got some rebels going against our ally. And of course, our guys are effectively medium infantry skirmishers. They're like the Roman legions from the beginning of the game. That they don't have... well, they're a little bit weaker, but they don't have the terrain malices that the Roman legions in the beginning had. Yeah, the rebels are having a little bit of a bad day. Apparently the rebels had a leader. And the rebel leader's dead. And yeah, you can see the color swap there. So Macedonia did agree to our peace proposal. And our friend, the Greek friend we have, also agreed to our client state proposal. Okay. Oh, and these guys down here also agreed to our client state proposals. We got more client states. Okay. So where were our objectives? We got handed out. We got handed out 2 on Carthage, Africa, and Thysrodus. 1 in Issus, which is Ptolemaic Egypt, and 1 on Lycia. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that one going away. It's on our client subject. That's just encouraging us to diploannex our subject at some point. There's Africa, so we're not in a rush to get to Worth Carthage. We take our sweet time to walk over there for that one. Where's the other one? It's probably on our border with us. Yeah, okay. So we're being basically encouraged to go after the stuff right next to Carthage itself. Oh, still a blizzard there. Oh, there's no road, no public works there at all, so that's definitely a place we want to go. Slap that down. Okay. I suppose one question here is, do we hang around to start a war with Macedonia, or do we head west to take territory of the Carthage? Now we've got more objectives on Carthage. I suspect the answer might be a little of both. So I want you to hang around long enough to turn that into limes. Same there. Rome camp, paved road. Cool. Roman camp. Regional roads. Looks like 1-1 is what we're going to get you. Public work, Roman camp. I suppose the ones that have Roman camp are going to stay stationary. The ones that don't should start moving. Like, you should move. Okay. I think these three were all Roman camps, right? So I made the 2 garrison armies. Do we need... Whoops. Don't need to see the rebel report. Do we still have unrest in the place? We don't. So you can, in theory, move out, I suppose. Yeah, unrest has been handled there. Peace is helping a lot with unrest across the whole shindig. Oh, and we have enough of Thracia that we can make the Thracian capital. Okay. Thracian province. Enough across the way? No. That's because of how weirdly we divided across things were. Okay. And the Macedonian capital has been moved to Brythia. Ooh, we take the Macedonian wonder of Pella. That's a pretty nice culture reward, legacy reward. Okay, so I think that's our troop movement for the moment. Let's look over the legacy. So we are in... Well, we're scoring more than 3 times everyone else. In fact, at this point, we're scoring 7 times more than everyone else in income. So we are definitely moving at the pace where we can move to win before turn 500. Because we've slowed down Macedonia enough. Macedonia is close enough that in practice we may still want to kill them, just to get them off the scoreboard. Because at this point we have more than 3 times everyone else except Macedonia. So Carthage will just be, we're going for the objectives. We're not really need to go after Carthage. It's actually going back after Macedonia again. I suppose that also means we don't need to focus as much on culture. So we just want to stay in the progressing tier, or stay in the stable tier. Okay, so here, do that to make more money because we've already worked out we're not going to go for the +4 per any place unless we're really close. So we crossed the threshold there. We crossed the threshold here. Well, we're going to be building a lot of limes. Limes are reasonably expensive, so we'll keep the money high for the moment. You haven't crossed the threshold. You haven't crossed the threshold. You're 2 turns out from that, so you're getting real close. You've crossed the threshold. And you're a couple turns out from it. I always get warm, fuzzy feelings for trying to build up the capital, so I'm tempted to continue expanding the capital, so moving the people off of money in there, but not in a rush to do that. Oh, you've hit that point, so you're on money as well. Yeah, no, that's still worth it. That's a 3 to 1. We'll take that. With apparently that being done next turn. To build here. No, I didn't go through the full list. It's probably just that one that's big enough. Yeah. Some of them are 2/3 of the way up to +3. And we haven't owned this one as long as the last one. So yeah, no, not there as well. Large warehouse is the upgrade from the warehouse. Going to cost us money. Get extra good if we had access to tools, which is something we might be trying to do. Tools is the upgrade to the blacksmith. Tool workshop. But I think it's a tier 2 building. So we need something like the delicacy shop nuts here to get access to it. But no, we'll go large warehouse. It's good enough. Good enough. Take the walls here. Obviously don't need this much construction here. Oh, actually, no, we do. The warehouse is apparently expensive enough to warrant it. It's cool. And we move on. Reopen slots. Your armor. So we're looking for armor. None of those are armor. 16 culture is probably good enough to pick up anyway, so I'll pick up the theater. Always like that land expansion. Ooh, 2 good choices. Do I want access to tier 3 infrastructure buildings or tier 3 culture buildings? I think we're going to go with the culture buildings. Open slot there. Actually, thinking about it, you don't need that much production. Can even get it growing a little bit more by moving the slaves over. If we could import the frankincense for this, we'd do it, but no frankincense, so no. Oh, perfect fare. 47 money coming in from that. That's great. This is the one on the bordering the desert. What's the provincial out here? Oh, this is the camel place. You know, we'll go ahead and grab the herbalist building here. Not quite what I was looking for, but it'll do. Grab the crafting district. Okay, we definitely, now that we're at peace, we definitely don't need all these guys working food. We'll still accept things like the military academy finishing into 2. That allows us to build a little faster. We might still slow them down even more by moving the citizens off. Yeah, it costs another turn on the Builder Guild, but that will get us some more culture coming here. Though some of these places are pretty close to where we'd want to turn culture off again anyway. At least worker level culture off. 1 and a 2. This is probably a place where we want to build the stable. But the school takes priority. We definitely don't need an armory this far out. Or weapons maker this far out. Land expansion is always nice when it comes up. And for fabricator wouldn't be a bad source of money, but we'll take the temple because we need the conversion. Or at least more interest in the conversion because we've got a decent number of Celtic citizens here. That would be, in theory, a little bit more... Well, apparently a little bit more productive, but they'd also be a little bit more loyal if they were proper citizens. Here we don't need any conversion. Here we finished converting everyone. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's a bad choice. It is 9 culture. It's not coastal though, so we wouldn't be able to turn it into the Thathlin Temple. And we're not desperate for culture right now. Actually more interested a little bit in the food. Yeah, let's go to the granary then. Oh, we finally built enough there that you're no longer necessary on that. We got enough building here that we're not necessarily gonna swap people over to culture yet, but I'm thinking about it. We're getting real close here in this province. I have to say the North Hispania province is a big province. Okay, Gracia. Needless to say, I don't think we need that many people working food. We do have some just conquered penalties, but that should go away reasonably quickly. And in theory, that might even free up more people to not work food. Yeah, so we can get everyone off of food production onto construction or something else. These guys are Hellenic. As you can see, Hellenic pops do have decently high or decently low unrest, so we're not necessarily in a rush to convert these people. So I'm probably going to prioritize other things rather than converting them. Like, that's a decent market. We'll probably want to build that market. This is probably a decent place for a weapons manufacturer, so we'll build a weapons manufacturer. And we got a lot of stuff building here, so we're going to prioritize building over money or culture making for the moment. Could do wells. I don't think we're too desperate for wells here. It's not like we have a farm and well, we have an orchard. It's not like we have the farm and the orchard, in which case you get a pretty good multiplier off of those. Could get 16 culture from the granary. Could get the caravan house. This is the perfected caravan house, and let's potentially pick up the caravanserai later on. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, we got a building here that isn't going to finish in a turn, so we'll accept that everyone's on production. Don't think we need everyone on food here. This might be one place where I'm wrong, and we do need them all on food. We need a lot of them on food. Okay, we can move 9. So we need 1 on food. Once the underpower certification goes away, we will be able to get away with none of them on food. And or the farm finishes. The farm's going to provide more food as well. Yeah. Okay, that's all the provinces for the moment. Because the Thracian one hasn't formed yet. Silver mine. Yeah, definitely. That's something that's worth accelerating. And a copper mine. You haven't guessed, this is an area that's pretty good for money. Granted, the copper mine isn't necessarily good for money, but you can import it to places with, say, the copper works. I think the mint, the mint, the coin maker, the mint, the coin maker, and the bank all have very good money-making modifiers with copper. This area has access to copper and silver, gold, silver over here, gold over here. Like, we got everything we need for really good mints down here. Could use more loyalty here. And that's even with the Just Conquer. Well, yeah, we're trying to say it's above 75 because we're Rome. Even the Just Conquered Nolus here is bringing us up to 69. So, though that isn't really the solution, I think. We'll do a reroll here. Hopefully get something a little bit better. And keep cycling like so. Preceptor House. That we've got Papyrus importable there, so that's not a bad choice. And there we go. That's all the way around. Okay, let's cycle the turn. We're not going to see really anything going on with Macedonia. We're doing stuff, we're not necessarily moving stuff. Which I suppose we can move you to there as well, just to have a garrison to help suppress the unrest in that place. And looking at the time, this is probably a good place to go ahead and put a part break in at the end of this end turn. I am thinking we will go do some hostile actions against Carthage in the next stream. Because I think it's going to take the rest of the stream to get our armies into position to start something with Carthage. I'm not just going to declare war on them and go like, okay, now we need to get the armies there. We're going to move at least some of the armies over there first. Because, you know, that would be an insane thing to do. We sent a generous gift to Illyria. So we can go see Illyria. We can send them another gift. Also simply just ask for cooperation. And then give them some money. Or I think they're at war with someone, so it might actually make sense to give them some troops. Let's play some stuff. Freedmen laws. Given the state of our country, I think we actually just want to improve slave rights. Oh, so the Federate Barbarians, and 2 of them, actually. Okay. So yeah, I think this is where I'm going to head to put the part break in. We are definitely doing really well. It's a little bit tedious, I think, to just end turn over and over and over again, necessarily to get to the winning state. But we're going to go fight Carthage, get our 2 objectives of Carthage. We might have to fight them a little bit more after that to get them to agree that those are ours in perpetuity, but we'll fight to get those back, or get those, and then fight probably to expand our existing provinces over here. When the Carthage War is done, we're going to get back in position for Macedonia. That'll probably be like the next stream or something like that. Depends on how long the Carthaginian War goes. But the next part will be mostly moving, I think, guys, over to Carthage. Maybe not even starting the war. We'll see how long it takes to get all the guys over there. So if you're watching YouTube, there probably will be another part up tomorrow. At this point, I think the time shift will have happened. Well, one of the time shifts will have definitely happened, whether both have happened or not. So it won't be exactly the same time tomorrow. It'll expect it to be a little bit later. But there will be part of this up tomorrow if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. I'm going to record one more part. I'm going to take a short break between parts, though. So until the next part, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all on the next part. And bye for now.